In the 1905 Swain trial, a senator objected when one of the managers used the word pettifogging, and the presiding officer said the word ought not to have been used.
And what they're doing, what they're saying, the opinions are very unfair to law enforcement. They can't believe the decisions that are being made by these judges.
One reason it has earned that title is because its members avoid speaking in a manner and using language that is not conducive to civil discourse.
Ever imagine a world where presidents could literally break the law and get away with it? Well, thanks to the Supreme Court's 6-3 ruling on Trump, we don't have to imagine anymore. It's our new reality, folks. In this video, we're breaking down what the heck just happened, why Trump is doing his happy dance, and what this means for every future president. If you thought checks and balances were a thing, boy, do I have some news for you. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. What if I told you the Supreme Court just gave presidents a license to break the law? That's right, our highest court just said presidents can basically do whatever they want as long as they call it official business. I mean, for 250 years, we thought America was built on this crazy idea that nobody gets to play king, not even the guy in the Oval Office. That was kind of the whole point of this country. But nope, in a shocking 6-3 decision, the Supreme Court just flipped that idea upside down faster than Trump flips on his stories about paying off porn stars.
We've shown some light on the Ninth Circuit. I know that Chief Justice Roberts, John Roberts, has been speaking a little bit about it.
In the 1905 Swain trial, a senator objected when one of the managers used the word pettifogging, and the presiding officer said the word ought not to have been used.
They've decided presidents have absolute immunity for their official acts and presumed immunity for everything else. It's like they handed out a get-out-of-jail-free card to anyone sitting behind the Resolute desk. Chief Justice Roberts tried to sound all reasonable, saying, "The president is not above the law," right before explaining how presidents are completely above the law. It's like saying, "I'm not eating cake," while your face is covered in frosting. Who do they think they're fooling? So what does this actually mean? Before this ruling, we thought presidents could be charged for crimes after they packed up their presidential pens. Now, if they can somehow connect their crime to their official duties, they're basically untouchable. Steal classified documents? Official business. Try to overturn an election? Just presidential stuff. During arguments, Trump's lawyers were asked if a president could be prosecuted for ordering the military to stage a coup or telling a Navy SEAL to assassinate a political rival. Their answer? Totally fine. That would be an official action under presidential powers. Because nothing says democracy like being able to murder your opponents. Justice Sotomayor didn't hold back in her blistering dissent, saying this ruling makes a mockery of the principle that no man is above the law. She's basically saying we just crowned ourselves King Donald I. Meanwhile, Orange McMeltdown is celebrating like he just won the criminal lottery, posting in all caps about his big win for our Constitution and democracy. Nothing says protecting democracy like making sure presidents can break laws without consequences, right? So what exactly can a president legally get away with now? Apparently ordering assassinations, staging coups, and pretty much anything they can slap an official label on, as long as they're using their constitutional powers. It's like giving a toddler matches and saying, just use them officially and it's fine.
One reason it has earned that title is because its members avoid speaking in a manner and using language that is not conducive to civil discourse.
And I think and I have a lot of respect for him. I like him and I respect him. But I think we have to use some common sense. This Ninth Circuit, everybody knows it. It's totally out of control.
I don't think we need to aspire to that high a standard, but I do think those addressing the Senate should remember where they are.
That toddler with matches we just mentioned? Turns out there might be a tiny fire extinguisher hidden in the Supreme Court's ruling. The justices did leave a small escape hatch by saying presidents might still face consequences for their unofficial acts. But before you celebrate this glimmer of hope, remember that defining what counts as unofficial is like trying to nail Jell-O to a wall. The court basically kicked Trump's case back down to a lower court, telling them good luck figuring out which of his actions were official presidential business and which were just Trump being Trump. It's like asking someone to separate the chocolate chips from a baked cookie. Technically possible, but practically ridiculous. Here's where timing becomes everything. This legal hot potato guarantees Trump won't face trial before November's election.
I think it is appropriate at this point for me to admonish both the House managers and the President's counsel in equal terms to remember that they are addressing the world's greatest deliberative body.
And what they're doing, what they're saying, the opinions are very unfair to law enforcement. They can't believe the decisions that are being made by these judges.
Talk about convenient. And if Orange Man wins again? Well, he could simply tell his Justice Department to drop the whole case faster than he drops allies who say mean things about him on Fox News. Legal experts aren't mincing words about this dumpster fire of a decision. University of Pennsylvania law professor Claire Finkelstein didn't hold back, saying, "The immunity decision will in time rank as among the court's worst decisions in its many-year history." Ouch. When legal scholars start comparing your ruling to historically terrible decisions, you know you've really stepped in it. The ruling creates what experts call a new category of presumptive immunity, which is fancy lawyer talk for presidents can now do whatever they want without consequences. It's drawn comparisons to the controversial Bush versus Gore decision from 2000, but with potentially more destructive long-term effects for our whole system of government. What's especially worrying is the timing. The ruling effectively ensures Trump escapes trial before November, and if he wins, he gets to be both defendant and prosecutor. Talk about a conflict of interest. He could simply order the Justice Department to make the whole thing disappear like it never happened. And here we are, folks, the end of accountability as we've known it. Some lawmakers are actually trying to fight back, proposing a constitutional amendment to reverse this whole presidential immunity mess. But let's be real, getting a constitutional amendment passed is about as easy as teaching Trump how to use spell check. So what now? America basically just created a special class of citizen who can do whatever they want as long as they're sitting behind the resolute desk. It's like giving your teenager the car keys, a credit card, and zero rules. What could possibly go wrong? The scariest part isn't just what this means for Trump, it's what it means for every president from now until forever. We didn't just hand Trump a get-out-of-jail card, we rewrote the entire game. Democracy was nice while it lasted, I guess.